guys, and I hope you're ready for a great day. Hey guys, say hello to your teacher. Hello teacher! Thank you teacher for helping us today. All right, so we are talking about Saul changing his name to Paul, but he doesn't change his name. Jesus changes his name. So all right, are we ready? Go ahead and let's stand on up, boys and girls, and let's get ready for kids worship. Woohoo!
Come on now, join with me, everybody sing. I'm gonna lift my voice to glorify my King. He is a mighty God and worthy of our praise. We give him everything, he's good in every way. Come on now, join with me, everybody sing. I'm gonna lift my voice to glorify my King. He is a mighty God and worthy of our praise. We give him everything, he's good in every way.
He is always there for us.
He's good in every way.
Pouring out his awesome love.
He's good in every way.
He fills us up with peace and joy.
He's good in every way.
He gives us all we need and more.
He's good in every way.
Come on now, join,
Come on now, join with me, everybody sing. I'm gonna lift my voice to glorify my King. He is a mighty God and worthy of our praise. We give him everything, he's good in every way.
He is always there for us.
He's good in every way.
Pouring out his awesome love.
He's good in every way.
He fills us up with peace and joy.
He's good in every way.
He gives us all we need and more.
He's good in every way.
Come on now, join with
Come
me.
on now, join with me, everybody sing. I'm gonna lift my voice to glorify my King. He is a mighty God and worthy of our praise. We give him everything, he's good in every way. Come on now, join with me, everybody sing.
Everybody sing.
I'm gonna lift my voice to glorify my King. He is a mighty God and worthy of our praise. We give him everything, he's good in every way. He's good in every way. He's good in every way.
All right, so now, what a great song that we just had. So now it's time for our story. So let's listen to the story of Saul having his name changed to Paul. Here we go.
The Miracle of Mercy. Paul. This is Saul. Saul was a Pharisee who hated the followers of Jesus so much that he would hunt them down to be brought to trial in Jerusalem. And he would even seek to murder them. Saul was uttering threats with every breath, and he was eager to kill the Lord's followers. So he went to the high priest. He asked him to write a letter to the Jews in Damascus that would allow him to arrest any Christians he found there. He wanted to bring them, both men and women, back to Jerusalem in chains. Now Saul went on his way. And as he came near Damascus, a light from heaven flashed around him, and he heard a voice that said, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Saul cried out, "Who are you, Lord?" And the voice said, "I am Jesus. Rise and go into the city, and you will be told what to do." So Saul got up and he opened his eyes, but he couldn't see anything. So the men who were with Saul led him into the city. After 3 days, a man named Ananias came to Saul. He put his hands on Saul, and immediately Saul could see again. And with that, Saul became a follower of Jesus. he became the very thing he had tried to hunt. And he immediately began telling people that Jesus is the Son of God, and he taught them about the mercy of God that he had received. And all who heard him were amazed. He then went by a new name, Paul, as he began preaching not just to the Jewish people, but to everyone. Despite many difficulties like being imprisoned, shipwrecked, and narrowly escaping death multiple times, Paul continued to preach about Jesus. Paul said that he would do everything he could to save people and help them know God. And that's just what he did in order to reach people who would otherwise be unreached. And many came to know Jesus because of what Paul said. Paul taught many in his day through his letters, but even more have come to learn more about Jesus through the letters of Paul that can be read even to this day.
All right, guys, so in our story here, we have a guy by the name of Saul, all right? And Saul does not like Christians. Can you go, nope. He does not like Christians, all right? He actually is persecuting them, which means he is putting them in jail and he's treating them not very nice. Saul was not a very nice man. So he was on his way to Damascus. So there's a road called Damascus, and he's on his way to Damascus. And while he's on there, all of a sudden his eyes get covered up. They're like fish scales on his eyes. Now, that can't happen to us, okay? This happened to Saul, and it is a true story because it's in our Bible, all right? So as Saul is headed to Damascus, his eyes get covered up with these fish scales, and he can't see, and he's like, oh, what's going on? And he hears this voice, and the voice is saying, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting the Christians, my Christians? And he's like, who is that? Because Saul did not like Jesus. He did not. He didn't believe in Jesus, all right? And so Saul is going, who is that talking to me? Well, guess who it was, boys and girls? Go ahead and yell it out. Who was it? You're right. It was Jesus. That's who was talking to Saul. Very good job. So he has these scales on his eyes now. He cannot see. And also these other men are around him on horses. And they're like, what's going on with this guy? He's crazy. He's just a little crazy here. Because all of a sudden he could see and now he can't see. And they're like, what happened? So he knows that something's going on and he needs to do something. So while this is all happening, there's another person that tells him that he needs to go see someone. And that person is going to tell him that he needs to become, one, a Christian, and two, he's going to change his name. That's right. He's going to become a Christian and he's going to change his name. So he gets back up on his horse, but he's got to have help because why? What is on his eyes? That's right. There's fish scales, like a fish scale. Now, a fish didn't smack him in the face, okay? That would just be funny, okay? And again, remember, our eyes cannot turn to fish scales, okay? They just cannot. Only a miracle like Jesus did with Saul that can his eyes turn to fish scales, okay? Where he couldn't see. They were like over his eyes. They were like, oh, I can't see, I can't see, I really can't see. All right, so now he's on his way. He's about ready to meet this man, and he meets this man, and the man says, hey, stop persecuting the Christians. Do you hear me? And if you stop, God, Jesus, will remove the scales from your eyes, and we're going to change your name from Saul to Paul. Guess what, boys and girls? Jesus got it. Yay! He decided that he was going to stop persecuting the Christians and he was going to become a Christian himself and love Jesus so much. He was, and that's what he did. And so as soon as he did that, he accepted Christ. The scales came off of his eyes. He could see again. And the man said, you know what now, Saul? Your name is going to be Paul. That's right, Paul. And you know what? A lot of the chapters in our Bible that I have right beside me here, a lot of our books are written by guess who? Paul. That's right. Paul was a big author, a main author of a lot of the books of the Bible. Pretty impressive, isn't it? Yes, it is, boys and girls. All right. Well, I've got all of my friends with me this week for our craft time, so let's get ready for craft, and I will see you in just a couple minutes. All right, bye, guys.